Finding self behind the hidden mystery, under a mask of humanity's identity.
Based on lack of wisdom and pursuit of greed, my life has been denied the implant of the now. Consciousness sees I am much more than I've been told. So let's allow this factual story to unfold. Myself is a prize of amazing grace, in search of lost memory that's still being traced. I am being filled with love and light, playing a major role in this flight of life. Finding self buried beneath dark debris, not allowing the connection with the higher me. I am in the strength. I am in the power. Rising in this same hour. There is a gap in discovery of the pathway to alignment. This is powerful movement for human assignments. Finding self, a mission for magnetic awareness. There is a force connected to willfully carry us. All that's within me is all that I need to gain a pure sense of self, to succeed, to draw the energies for phenomenal change. Prepare for the coming of the divine Big Bang. I am being filled with love and light, playing a major role in this flight of life. Finding self buried beneath dark debris, not allowing the connection with the higher me. I am in the strength. I am in the power. Rising in this sacred hour. I have been harmonizing with consciousness, vibrating memory of eternal oneness. I find self, I will find you. To find yourself is to create the sensation and exposure of truth. We shall pass it on and on and on. Pass it on and on and on. Finding self. Pass it on and on and on. Pass it on and on. Finding love. Pass it on and on. Finding self.
happy Easter for all of you that are celebrating Easter. Those of you that might be in the Passover period, good morning to you too. From the Gospel of John 11:25, it says, I am the resurrection and the life. Understand that the resurrection we've been working with is not just historical, it is a way of being. I welcome you to Unity of Chicago South, our Beyond Walls spiritual community that streams live from Chicago. Today we continue with our journey through the resurrection reset. And I ask you to join me right now and take a breath. And together, let us just settle on the truth that we practice in this space. There is an infinite source available for everyone. It is there for each who seek it, no matter their race, gender, or religion. Now, you could believe what you may, but you should know that the source of the universe is also the source of each of us. Therefore, the principle supporting the stars is the principle supporting and available to each of us. As I declare this statement in the first person, I do declare it for all. I am open and receptive to this divine living principle. Father, Mother God, I am grateful. This is my declaration. This is my truth. And as I accept it, so it becomes, and all is well, and well indeed. You know, we've been traveling these last 5 weeks, and the journey has been a joyous journey. Yeah, it's a joyous journey. But I think we should just take just a moment and just recap what we've done to get to where we are. We started out with understanding that you must become aware so you can see things clearly. Then once you see them, there are things that you know you must release, you must let go. And then you put yourself in a position of what we call reframing. And that reframing is to begin to see situation differently. And then there's the alignment. And that's moving in concert with what you say you want, with what you say you want to be, who you want to be. And then finally, last week, it was surrender. Surrender, trusting the process that you have gone through. Trusting the process. Howard Thurman said, the movement of the Spirit of God in the heart of a person may be hindered, but it cannot be stopped. It cannot be stopped. Once you open the door into this resurrection process, it may be hindered, but it can't be stopped. And this journey that we've taken up until this point is the preparation for resurrection. The resurrection, the meaning of it, from the Gospel of Luke, we read, why do you seek the living among the dead. We look for new life often while holding on to old thinking. Looking for new life while holding on to old thinking. Resurrection means leaving old mental patterns behind. Maya Angelou puts it this way: you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Resurrection begins when our interpretation changes. The resurrection of that truth that resides within us begins when we outside here begin to change our interpretation. James Baldwin says, not everything that is faced can be changed. And we do well to remember that. But he goes on to say, but nothing can be changed until it's faced. Awareness, facing, release, letting go, reframing, new interpretation, alignment, new direction, surrender, trust. This enters us into the path of the inner resurrection. The inner resurrection. You say the inner. You say the inner. Yeah, this is all about an inner process. This is about reinterpreting what Scripture says to make it personal and to make it practical for ourselves. Charles Fillmore says that the resurrection takes place in the consciousness of the individual. Ernest Holmes says we cannot change conditions until we change ourselves. And Emmett Fox just puts it out there plainly, flat out. No chasing. Life is consciousness. Life is consciousness. That's it. See, life is not happening to us. Life is happening through our consciousness. How do we see life? Resurrection is a shift in consciousness. So we got here by working with our consciousness, on our consciousness, to be able to see things differently, to be able to release that which no longer serves us, to be able to move into an alignment with whatever we've reframe our life to be, and then letting go, surrendering to the process of that bringing forth the resurrection of the Christ within, for some would say, the source of us, the core of us, our spiritual nature. That's the resurrection. It's time, though, to move from the teaching to the experience, from the teaching to the living. Wow. And let's start with an affirmation. As you know, we work with these affirmations where we ask the question to our inner being, to that core, to that Christ, to that source, to that spirit within us. And then we allow the answer to come from that place. And the question is, why am I now ready to live from a new awareness, from a new awareness? Allow it to settle. Why is it becoming easier for me to respond instead of react? Let me tell you that those experiences will come where we get the opportunity to be in that pause for a moment. That pause between something happened to me in my life right now, and I'm ready to react because it's happened before. I know the pattern. I'm familiar with it, but I choose to change. I'm resurrecting the Christ within, the spirit within. I'm allowing it to flow before me, to answer the questions posed to me underneath the comments or the situation. And so as I allow the answer to come from a different place, I then become a responder as opposed to a reactor. There's an inner shift that's going on. Toni Morris says that if you want to fly, you have to give up the things that weigh you down. You have to let them go. I have to let go of the joy that it seems in reacting. There's a joy when I can snap back. There's a joy when I can put it down. Stop it. Get off me. But it takes a little more when I want to respond to what's really going on from the other side, from the experience, from the person. And we have to understand, resurrection is not something dramatic. It's subtle. And it's internal, which is hard sometimes to recognize and come to grips with as we look at scripture and we see the crucifixion and we take it as something physical. But we should know that if we wanted to follow our elder brother, we don't follow him to the cross for crucifixion. We allow our negative and our wrong thinking to lead us to the cross, and we crucify that out of our lives. And this is how we learn to begin to pause instead of react. We choose instead to repeat trust instead of resist. You see, I can't pause while this experience is going on unless I trust the other side. What does that mean? Yeah, trust it. Trust that it's some good. There's something for me. It's something positive. It can hurt my ego, but it can never hurt my spirit. And so I try to live from that spirit that is unaffected by all that's going on out here. This is part of the resurrection. This is part of the source that's in us, the core that's in us, the Christ that's in us, the spirit that's in us, waiting to come forth because it came with us at birth. That's where the resurrection comes from. We're allowing it to come back into activity into our lives. Resurrection is not becoming someone new. Resurrection is revealing what always has been. We start learning to stop returning to the past. This happened to me before. I know it's the same thing again. I can tell. It may be the same thing, but it may be a new experience that can come out of it that can take us to a higher consciousness. We don't know. But if we trust the process, if we know we're seeing things differently, if we know we're releasing ideas that no longer serve us, if we know we're reframing life, and we know we're working to put ourselves in alignment to what we say we want, do, or want to be. Let's understand this very important point. Resurrection is available right now. It is a present moment shift. We don't have to wait till things get worse. We don't have to wait till the bottom falls out. It's available wherever we are right now because it's the release of the higher consciousness that exists inside of us already. We're releasing it. You see, the stone has not been rolled away to let something out. It's been rolled away so we can see what has always been alive, waiting to come forth within us. A higher consciousness. A higher consciousness. It's been a joyous journey. It's been a challenging journey. I've had an opportunity to have the challenge of using the tools. And it is a challenge. It's not a bad challenge, but it's a challenge because you're changing. You're letting things go. I don't want to be angry anymore. I don't want to snap. But it's a process. It really is a process. And that process goes on as we are in the process of changing our format, changing how we interact, changing how we present. As we reflect on the resurrection to today, we realize that that is not the end of the journey, but it is really a beginning of a new way of living. And the reason for that is because once we see differently, once we begin to release, reframe, align, and surrender, life itself becomes the practice. Living becomes the practice. And so beginning next Sunday, April 12th, we're creating a space to continue this work together, this work of practical living. A space to explore how these principles show up in everyday life. Not just in moments like today, but in the choices we make each and every day. We're calling this space practical spiritual living. This is where we read, reflect, and engage in how to live with greater awareness, clarity, and intention. So today, we celebrate resurrection, and next week we begin living it. Resurrection is a shift in consciousness. Until next time, on behalf of the Unity of Chicago South, Beyond Walls spiritual community, I bid you namaste and happy Easter.